some good things about the movie and some bad things about it that I didn't really
It's like,
care for. You know what I mean? You know.
okay, let's
So,
talk about it.
alright. So we back. This is 80s, 90s, and 2000s Vibes Network. This is your host Triborough and the lovely Alyssa, and today we're reviewing the next to
Hey
kin,
guys.
the Paranormal Activity from the Paranormal Activity franchise. It's the seventh sequel in the franchise, but it's the reboot actually. I just found out that they actually rebooted the whole series, but I never was a fan of this franchise. But I've seen one. I think I saw Ghost Dimension. But I saw the trailer for this like a couple weeks ago. Somebody posted it online, and I actually liked it. And I saw the movie when it came out on streaming. And I'm like, yo, let's talk about it. So yeah, the movie the plot is basically about Margot, a young woman that she doesn't know who her mom is. If I'm correct, she doesn't know who her mom is. Like her mom left her at birth or whatever. And we see like a early scene in the movie where the mom was like had her as a baby and she abandoned her or whatever. So we already knew something was up from the beginning shot. And then Margot grows up. She's in college. She has friends or whatever, and she and her friends go off to find out who her real mom is and like her mom's background. And they go away to this Amish, community, and all hell breaks loose at the community basically. Um, the movie came out October 29th of this year. It was directed by William Eubank from it's from Paramount Pictures. And um it's a found footage film. It's from the found footage series, and I've seen so many found footage films over the years. I think a lot of them are underrated. Some of them were no good, but we're gonna talk about this. 'Cause I have my issues with it, and I thought it was good at the same time. And they Margot basically she goes to this retreat, to this like Amish community, and with her friends to find out like her mother's background and what happened to her mom, because she doesn't know what happened to her mom. They told her that her mom was dead and stuff like that. And um I thought it was just setting up the story. It was a good setup where her friends get to the Amish community. And they're not familiar with the Amish community because the Amish don't use technology. They don't use cell phones and TikTok, and they make references to that in the movie. Um, and it was like it was kind of like a slow burn in the beginning, and then slowly started to see certain things happen in the film. And
Mhm.
what did you think about how they did the beginning part of the film, like the whole setup?
Okay, so I know the story, the whole background had to do with another paranormal activity,
Right.
and honestly, I the beginning of the movie it did come in a little slow. You got to know who the
Yeah.
characters were, and you kind of got to see the relationship name right now.
Right.
But
Right.
you got to see the relationship with all of them. So of course it was beneficial to see that the relationship between them with slow. It definitely did pick up a lot. Like
Right.
once it got to like middle end of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
it was just like nonstop. At some point, honestly, at some point, it was just like okay, like throughout the movie, it was like okay, like not to go there, not to go in there,
Right.
not to do that.
Exactly.
But I think that's all those little spiritual movies are. But it's okay.
Right.
So yeah, it started off a little slow, but once you really get into it, it starts getting like any other paranormal activity movie. And
Right.
are we gonna go into spoilers?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Because
we could talk about
there,
like us. Yeah.
yeah. So I just want to say that this is like one of I think this is like the first paranormal activity where it didn't end that bad. It did end bad, but
Right.
the main characters got away, and that is not normal in paranormal activity. So it was kind of sad.
Yeah.
always.
Yeah. I thought I like there's a scene where they go to breakfast. I think it was like the first night they spent there at the Amish community, and the Amish daughter, the one that was working there, and she's fixing breakfast for them, and then she asked them about TikTok. And I thought that part was funny in the film because they don't use technology, so the Amish don't know about
Right, right,
TikTok
right. Yeah. I
and mhm,
right, right,
yeah,
exactly. And that that I thought the whole Amish thing in general is just creepy. Anyway, I mean,
yeah,
Amish aren't creepy, but just the whole idea of I don't know what parents are, and then you end up in an Amish community, and
right. It was
and
crazy.
I don't know if you remember the part when the guy pulled up on them, or when the main character's boyfriend and then the friend
Hmm.
when they were looking for something to help fix their car, and
Right,
then the guy stopped and picked them up, and then he was just like, "Yeah, they're not Amish." That didn't really shock me,
right.
but it was still like, "Oh," like it didn't really shock me, but yeah, I don't know. It was cool. So.
And
uh, yeah, so the whole Amish thing, like it was that was
mhm,
already a little scary, but let's
right.
talk about my dogs. Okay.
It's all
But
good.
yeah.
And yeah, and like the from the moment I saw like the first night they stayed at the community, and they see like the red lights outside the window like late at night, and I was like, yeah, there's something is going to happen
I
within the
know.
woods with the red lights. I'm like, yeah, something is going on.
Right. Like that's my first sign to leave.
Yeah,
Like what are you doing? They were
exactly.
like the red lights. There's somebody out there. The red light, and they
It,
disappeared. I was like,
right. It could have been
oh my
anybody.
god. Like are you serious?
You know.
So I have a question. I have a
Yeah.
question. I don't know, but the
Hmm.
so at the towards the ending of the movie,
Right.
the the main character,
Hmm.
she told that she was talking to that girl. So that was her sister, right? Is that right? That was her sister, or
Nah, that was the
that
little.
creepy girl was her sister?
Yeah, no, I think the little girl in the community was like just like she just lived there, and then like she was telling us like something about um, what she said I knew your mother and she's still here or something like that.
No, okay, that
No.
really creepy looking creature at the end. And she
Hmm.
was talking to her like she knew who she
Oh yeah,
was. She was like,
that's
"Did
her
you
mother.
marry her?"
Yes, that was her mother.
Oh, right, 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 right.
Yes,
That was her mother. Okay,
yeah,
right. Oh my
that's her
god.
mother. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that part
Yeah,
I wish they
I just
had.
feel like there were a lot of
Yeah.
God.
Now, I was saying I wish they had went. I wish they had showed what actually happened to her mom because they didn't show what happened to her mom in that. They just like you saw her mom and then it was like her mom was like some type of creature or whatever.
Yeah, because I believe her mom was in the earlier paranormal activity, and she had the
Oh, okay.
baby.
Right,
So I believe
right. They
that's
was
what it was.
opening.
It's mistaken.
Yeah, the opening scene. That was her mom carrying her when she was little. That's the footage that they showed. But they didn't really. That
Right.
was my
Okay. Yeah, I
issue.
believe that was.
Yeah, they didn't show like what actually happened to the mom. It's like we just kept hearing stories about what happened to the mom, and you know, that we're assuming that the mom was a part of a cult or whatever, but we don't know what actually happened within that cult that they did to her. Like they did something to her, but they didn't show exactly what it was. You know, so I was like,
Right.
yeah,
Mm.
we needed to see that. We needed to see. Mhm.
Yeah, like the second and third. I believe it was this one where the mom came in at the second or third one. But
Mhm.
I think if you see the early ones, I have to look, but I'm pretty sure you have to watch those to understand where her
Okay.
mom came from. I believe.
So her mom was in the
Yeah.
earlier films.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe
Oh,
her
I didn't
mom
know
was in
that.
the earlier films. I'm
Mm.
gonna look it up really quick. I
I didn't know
believe
that.
so. Like I believe it was like a sequel.
Cause they said it was like a total reboot of the whole franchise. So I didn't know her mom was in the other sequels.
This is a reboot.
Yeah, that's what it said. It says it's
I
an official reboot.
did,
That's what it was saying.
oh, maybe it was. So who is
Mm,
Alex then? I feel like okay. I feel like the names
mm,
were similar. I don't know, but I could have sworn that's what I was thinking the whole time. I've
right.
been tripping. Okay,
Yeah,
so whole new. Okay.
it's a whole new story, right? And yeah, like that was it. I wanted them to get in more in depth about what happened to her mom and why how did she turn into this creature, because she wasn't like that in the video footage that we saw. She was normal, and then when we see her again at the end, it's like she's a monster. You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to, I think I was putting everything together, like the
Right.
whole the tunnel that they had in the barn in the church or whatever that Margot and her friends found, and it was like something was down there, like they were keeping her mom down there. But what were they doing down in that hole that made her look like the way that she did, and they didn't really go into that, you know. And that was a creepy moment too in that film when
Hmm.
they found the actual
I
tunnel.
don't know. I
Mm,
right. Maybe they tried to add a like demonic kind of aspect to it. Like her mom,
right,
let's say when she got rid of the devil in her, that's when they start looking like that. I don't know. I think they just wanted to add that demonic look because she was
right,
possessed by that, by the demons. So
right, right.
I don't know. It could have been that. Could have been
And they
that.
and remember there was like
Maybe.
I think the town knew, like the whole town knew what they were doing. Like it's the creepy old man that was staying with them at the house, and
No,
like
you think so?
yeah, I think the town knew what was going on. Because like remember
Hmm.
like she would get up like in the middle of the night and hear sounds, and then when she actually went out with her friends and they saw that scene where they were like killing the goat, the two-headed goat, and like the creepy old man, he
Right.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
they knew what they were. I think they knew, everybody in the town knew what it was, and they knew what happened to her mama. She was like the only one that didn't know what happened. Like they was like it was like a big secret in the town of what they did to her mom, but they never told her what happened.
Wow. Okay. Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
no, you didn't get that from the
Maybe.
movie.
Maybe. I don't know. Cause I just. Hmm.
You didn't get that. You didn't get that from the movie. I mean,
What would you say?
that's what I got from the movie, was like the whole town knew about it.
Yeah, I think I'm just really referring to that one scene where that guy was just acting like, he knew something was weird. He knew something weird was going on, but
Right.
because he seemed like a genuinely nice guy who was from the town. He seemed like a genuine guy, but
Mm.
I would think that he would say something, just because of this genuine. Just he didn't seem like one of those another typical Amish person, but it's
Right.
possible. I feel like if that is the case, I mean that makes sense too because I feel like Amish just mind their business, right? Like they kind of mind their business, off their business,
Right.
and I'm trying to get involved with that anyway. So
But they
so
were like
yeah,
they were like some evil Amish people though. They wasn't like, on the outside they were like, they stated themselves, but they were evil. You know what I'm saying? Like they did some evil shit. I was like, yo, what's
right.
going on here? You're killing two-headed goats at 3 a.m. in the night, and there's red lights in the forest and stuff. I'm like,
Right,
well, yeah, they
right.
were doing something, and
Like it was
yeah,
normal or something.
yeah, it was like a cult. It was like a cult, and the part, like there was like a scene where Margot like heard stuff in the house like at 3 a.m., and she tried to wake up her friends, and they didn't wake up, and then like something took her, like some type of
Right,
evil
right, right.
presence that was in the room that took her, and then we saw
Yeah.
her, again, and then she was like almost like she was possessed. She was like staring out the window, and she wouldn't talk to nobody.
Right. So
And
what happened?
mm, I think you know what it was. That was a part of them doing that ritual to call that what's the evil spirit as Asmosis. They call it the evil entity or whatever. And I think he took her, and they something happened with her, but it really didn't. Something happened to her where she was the next morning she was just like acting like weird. But I remember the old guy said something about she's a
Right.
virgin or something like that. They needed her as a virgin to conjure up this evil spirit named as Modus to come back to Earth and wreak havoc on the world or whatever. So I think that's what
Okay.
happened. I
Yeah.
think I think that sound that when we see her like get taken and she's like in the air or whatever. I think that was the evil spirit. And then when she but we really didn't see nothing manifest from her like after that. I'm like I thought she was gonna turn into like a monster or something, but like she was like when they fought like
What happened there?
remember when she got taken down to the hole, and then the black friend, I forgot his name in the film, the black dude, he went down in the hole to get her. And when they found her, like some old lady was like doing a ritual on her, and then like they have to like wake her up. And when he took her to go back up in the hole, there was like some creature that I'm assuming the creature was her mom. Her mom was like sitting down in like a chair, like right there watching her. And as soon as he took Margot to go back in the hole, the creature like got up and started chasing them. But I think that's what happened. I think like they was like planning on bringing the monster back to life within her body, so like it was gonna possess her. But we didn't. It didn't happen because her
Yeah.
friend saved her.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Her friend saved her, but I
Right.
was like that part was what I didn't understand that part because I'm like, yo, is she possessed? Because she was like acting weird the next morning, but we really didn't see it manifest into anything else. You know, that part was weird. And like they were figuring out things, like they did their little research on the Asmosis demon, and how he was like he was, it was like some scriptures being said about him, like he was gonna feast on the young and the weak, and take over the world. And there's like a lot of crazy shit going on with that. And that part they should have went deeper
She
into
got
that.
caught.
Yeah, they should have went deeper into the whole demonic aspect of the film too.
Okay. Wait. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
My connection just messed up. Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah. I hear you.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
Um.
it's alright.
Yeah. I'm sorry. My connection just messed up.
It's all good. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, like, what
Yeah.
did you
Okay.
think
Yeah. But
about
yeah.
that whole
So
demon?
the whole demon,
Yeah,
the whole demon thing.
yeah,
Um.
it's alright.
So I know they were saying they told the main character, or they told the boyfriend that I know they said that if they don't give it to her, if they don't let the get in her, and the demon is gonna hop around to different bodies and different
Right,
souls and stuff like that.
right.
So I know I know I know when I heard that, I know that was kind of like that was kind of it's kind
Yeah,
of like a it's like this is one I care about, but like, is
mm,
this true? Like at the end of
right,
the day, like, is this true? Of course, I'm gonna save someone I care about, but then we saw how it ended,
right.
and yeah, we saw how it ended. So it was just
It was
I don't
crazy.
know, like what happened. I'm starting to think, is that how it all starts? Since this is the reboot, guessing it all starts because
Mm,
the girl who was supposed to be demonized, I suppose,
right,
um, she ended up not being demonized, so now the demon is passing
The
around
demon,
to all
right,
these different people.
right.
And that
That
could be what starts the whole thing. I mean,
I didn't think about that.
I don't
That's
know.
a
I think
good,
the concept is kind of crazy. The
right.
concept is crazy. If
Yeah,
you ask me, it's a crazy concept
yeah.
because I don't know.
I didn't
That's why
even
I don't
think
mess with
about
the
that.
spirits and all that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's
Like
one way to start over the whole franchise. You know.
the whole thing, and
Yeah.
and the other paranormal activities is like it's definitely not in the like a normal neighborhood. They just
Right.
want the babies, or they just want
Hmm.
the babies because they have the pure souls and whatnot. But you
Right.
know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
I didn't
know.
even. I mean, cause
Very
Jason
interesting.
Jason Bloom was behind this. Blumhouse is behind this, and they've done a lot of good horror films. They've done some crap too, but I think with Jason Bloom overseeing this new reboot, I think they can do some different things with this franchise. So you know,
Right, right.
yeah,
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be exciting. But something that I just do not like about these
yeah,
spiritual movies, these all these this
hmm,
demon
right,
stuff, I don't like how they're going in the places that obviously look like there's a demon in there. Like, why
exactly.
would you go in that hole? I mean,
Yeah.
why would you crawl in that tunnel? Like forget your
Crazy.
mom. I mean, not forget your mom, but I mean, I get it. But come
Right,
on now, there was a lot of creepy stuff going on, and at some point in these movies, you have to say, "This is their fault now." Like
right.
this is them;
Facts.
they're the ones who are. And that's the only thing that's like that annoys me about these kind of movies. But
Right.
you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, the ending was was surprising to me. I just knew they
Yeah.
were all gonna die. But like I said, it was very surprising.
Well,
So
they. I mean,
shout out to
well,
them.
Margot and her friend actually got away. I thought they was gonna all die. They actually got away, and but the demon,
Right.
her mother. Like I don't know if her mother actually died. Like we saw when her mother, she had that little showdown with her mom, and she like pushed her mom off like a ledge or something, and her mom, we heard her
Right.
mom like fall, but is she really dead? And then like there was a guy that was working a part of the community that he got possessed, and then he ended up taking like killing the
Yeah.
cops when they came. He killed the cops, and then like he took the cop car. So that's how it ended. So we don't know a lot of things that happened. You know?
Right. I mean, oh, I don't know. I think like mm, I think her mom was possessed,
Yeah.
and then once she like kicked her off that thing,
Yeah.
I think her mom maybe did die.
Mm.
Well, I think her mom was already dead, right? Because she's possessed, or am I
Right. Right.
tripping? But
But her mom was like a creature
I
though.
think
She was a creature.
right, right. Oh,
Hmm.
right. And right. I don't know. That's tricky. I don't. I was
Yeah.
creeping me out a little bit, like really thinking about it. So I don't know. That could have been like her, like in the worker, the one who was at
Right.
the end, who ended up being possessed at the end. That could
Right.
be her,
That could be her.
but
Right.
I don't know. It's creepy to think about.
I'm thinking that the same thing that possessed Margot is the same thing that possessed that other guy at the end. But I think like her mom is an actual creature. But I don't know. I'm still confused if her mom was the actual Asmodeus, person they were conjuring up, or is it another creature that they were trying to conjure up that they never got we never got a chance to see because the boyfriend saved her or whatever. That part they didn't explain.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't
when they were doing
know.
like the actual ritual, when they were doing the actual ritual on Margot, and they were calling, they were summoning the demon, but he never showed up. So that we didn't see that part of him coming back to Earth or whatever. But I want to know. Say
Right.
that they needed to explain more. Like, how did the mom actually become like that? Like, is she the actual demon they were conjuring up, or is it somebody else that was supposed to come and we just didn't see it?
Right. So you don't
You know.
believe that this formed version, or you think that she was you think that she was just literally like a creature that the demon
I think
possessed,
she
and
was.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
I
do
think
you.
she was. I think that they did experiments on the mom to for her to look like that creature, and it would have been nice if they actually showed like the flashback scenes of her being, with them doing the rituals on her mom, because we didn't see that. So
Turning
we had to
into
like piece
that,
together. Yeah,
yeah.
we had to piece together everything, and I felt like I was a detective, like I was like Columbo on the case, trying to like figure out what happened to her mother. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Right, right, right.
I knew like when I'm watching the film, when I'm watching the film and I'm like Margot and I see like this creature standing in front of her and I'm like, is that her mother? And I kind of like got those vibes like, yo, that's her mother. That's what they did to her mother. Her mother's still alive, but she was a creature, and that's why she was gone for all those years. But we didn't know that until Margot finally saw her in the barn, and I'm like, yo, that's her mother because she didn't kill her. She didn't kill Margot. She killed everybody else, and she stood there and Margot was talking. I'm like, yo, that's her mother. And like when you see her, I'm like this. They really fucked up like this. Her mother, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to see the flashback scenes of what happened to her mother in the rituals. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't believe that's the actual demon they were conjuring up. I think if that was the case, they would he would have killed Margot. But I'm like, that's her mother, and her mother spared her life. You know what I'm saying? But it would have been cool to have like those flashback scenes of what
Right.
actually happened to her
Yeah.
mom. You know what I'm saying? But I think I think when they were doing the ritual on Margot, they were conjuring up the other demon, this demonic, king or whatever that was supposed to come and, rule the earth or whatever, and he never showed up. And that part we should have seen. Like they missed the ball, they dropped the ball on that, and I feel like the
Right.
mother was part of that. Like I don't think she was the actual main demon, but I think she was one of the demons that was gonna serve under this as Modus figure, and you know I think that those are the scenes
Right.
that should have been in the film. Because I think if we saw all of that, it would have been a classic film to me. But there was those issues of the film I had a
Right.
real problem with, and it's like you have to like piece together what was actually going on in the film.
Yeah, that's true, and that's annoying. But also, there's a possibility that the prequel and all of that stuff that, like I said, the prequel. Well, yeah, technically, like the prequel, the things that happened beforehand, maybe that is going to be used in like the next storyline to an extent, because I know there are some movies that have done that where you don't have your questions answered,
Right.
and then the question is answered once you see like the second movie, because it gives them more background and stuff like that. So that is a possibility that uh, they could use what happened before. They could use what happened with the mom and turn that into something that has to do with the next movie.
Right.
um so, but I don't like that either. I don't like when I don't have the questions answered.
Yeah.
And but it is a possibility that they could share it in the next one. It is
Yeah.
possible.
I would hope so.
But
I mean, because they left it off as it can, to be continued. So I would hope they do a sequel to this and we really get to see
for sure,
all of.
then I they'll probably answer the questions. I feel like they're good at answering the questions in Paranormal Activity.
Right.
So let's hope so.
Right. So you've seen
I'm
all the
scared of the
films,
movie,
right?
but
You've seen all of the films?
so you said this was the seventh one, like the reboot
Yeah.
seventh
It's
one.
they but it's they well
So
they counted it as the seventh one, but it's the actual official reboot of this whole franchise.
cool. Okay, yeah. So I saw
Yeah.
all the way up till five, I believe. I don't think I've seen the sixth one, but I've seen one, two, three, four, five. The second one is my
Right.
favorite. I actually watched that one consistently back in the day, but yeah, I've seen all of them.
I'm gonna
Um,
watch that.
yeah, you should. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's like one of my favorite horror. 'Cause I don't like that kind of stuff. It is one of
Right.
my favorite spiritual
Hmm.
movies. You should definitely watch it though. Definitely
Yeah, I'm gonna
watch
check
it.
it out. I'm gonna check it out.
Because also in paranormal activity, okay, so in this one specific,
Mm,
like you just knew what was gonna go wrong. You just knew
right.
like something gonna go wrong. And you're in Amish
Yeah.
community, you don't even know where you are,
Right.
and the people in the house are already being weird. I remember
Exactly.
there was a part where the little girl was like, like, do you know my mom or something like that? And
Right.
no, the little girl was like,
She's still here.
I like she's still alive. She doesn't
Yeah.
like you. And
Yes.
I was like, okay, like this is weird.
Yeah.
Like you,
That's the
like
part I
I
was
said, at
talking
a
about.
point we have to blame the characters.
Yeah. That's the part I was talking
Oh,
about
okay,
earlier
okay, yeah,
with the
yeah.
little
So
girl
it's like,
talking to Margot. Yeah.
right. Okay, I remember. But it was just weird. It was just freaky. But in the other paranormal activities, oh, I'm sorry. In the
Mm.
other paranormal activities, um, at least I don't five was kind of creepy too. Five looked a little creepy.
Okay.
Like it was like already creepy looking. But like the first, second, third, fourth, like they would have had no idea what was going on. It was just crazy stuff was happening. Camera up in their house, and they realized crazy stuff was happening in their house. But
Right.
so it's like it's unexpected for them. But in this movie in specific, it was just like it just looked like a disaster. Like it just
Yeah.
looked bad to
It
me.
did. It did.
It's just like, come on, why?
Yes.
You know, like look, like they're acting weird.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel.
Um.
I don't know. I think you should watch the
Yeah.
other ones too, but because
Yeah.
it's more
I got to see
surprising.
the other
It's
ones.
more like it's, yeah, for
Mm.
sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. It was. That was. It was. Yeah. It was already creepy, and the people were already acting weird. So I already knew, like, from the jump, something is gonna happen in this, Amish community. So you know.
so
Just a lot going on.
okay, there I am.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. It was crazy. Crazy
Okay.
stuff happening. You know. What do you give it, like, on a scale of one to
Okay.
10? Like,
You can see me and hear me, right?
yeah, yeah, I hear you.
Okay, cool. Okay, because
Yeah,
I do that. That's why I know you can't
yeah,
hear me or something.
that's cool.
But on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a solid 3 or 4
Oh
out of
wow.
10
Okay.
because a 3 or 4 out of 10. And the only reason why I give it a 3 or 4, even
Hmm.
that, is because of how it ended.
Right.
It leaves me kind of curious, and it had me kind of creeped out and whatever.
Right.
But like I said, 3 or 4 out of 10. I did like how they established the relationship between the two main characters, but
Right.
I don't know. I wasn't feeling this one. I liked the other ones before this one more, so I don't know. I
Right.
wasn't really feeling this one. It was okay.
Okay.
It was like okay, come on. What about you? What do you think?
I think I'm gonna give it, out of 10. I would give it a 7, because I haven't seen the other ones yet,
Okay.
but I feel like this one was like a great way to reintroduce the franchise, and possibly you can make a sequel out of this for sure, and um I like the actual story. I just felt like they were missing some stuff that like I said, like the back scenes. They should have had the flashback scenes of what actually happened to Margot's mom, and
Right.
I would have liked to see the actual demon that they were talking about in the film, that they mentioned, and then they did, like, Margot and her friends actually looked up the demon online. I would like to see the actual demon in the film, and we didn't get that. And I think if we had gotten
Right.
if we had gotten those important scenes, it would have been a great film. But I think it was. I mean, I've seen so many found footage films over the years. It was like, it was like, it reminded me of like a lot of them I've seen like on Netflix and Hulu. But I think it was decent. The acting, it was okay. It wasn't no big name stars in this, but I think there's potential there. If they do a sequel and they don't just like do another one, but it's like some spin-off or whatever. If they do like a sequel to this, I think it could be good. Like they have to really flesh out the story and really like make, they have to make people want to watch this to do a sequel. Like if you do a sequel for this story, you have to make people watch this one and then be like, yo, like we got a lot more good stuff coming for the sequel. Like you're gonna actually show the actual demon that we didn't see in part one. We're gonna tell the story what happened to the possessed guy that took off, killed the cops and ran off with their cop car. And I think there's potential there, but it was a lot of question marks. And I'm like, I should, when you watch a film, no matter what genre it is, you shouldn't have to be playing like detective, like, yo, like what's gonna happen. I don't understand, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't really too much room for entertainment. It was more like, okay, that happened, but what about this, you know what I'm saying? So I felt like I was a detective watching a movie that I'm piecing together that I shouldn't really have to be piecing together. Now, unless they have a director's cut where if it had more stuff that we didn't see, that would be good too. If they have a director's cut of this film where there's other scenes that we didn't see that needed to be in the film, and maybe they cut it out for time constraints. I would love to see the director's cut for this film, but I don't know. But I think it wasn't bad. It wasn't like one of the worst I've seen, but it wasn't great either. So I give it a 7. You know?
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I agree though.
Mm-hmm.
The sequel, I'll give the sequel because there's movies that I've seen that I really didn't like the first one, but then
Mm-hmm.
once they came out with the second one and they had a little bit more information in it, I
Right.
loved it. Like so because I'm like that too. Like I need
Right.
my questions answered, or I
Exactly.
won't be fulfilled. I'm thinking about it all day. I
Right.
love when I can just think about a movie all day long. Like so, you know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Because I
I agree.
like I like the backstory. When I see a movie and I need the backstory for everything. Like if there's a movie that I'm watching and there's no backstory for the character, I'm like, yo, where's the backstory for this character? I don't know what's going on. You don't know the character. You don't know like the plot. So I'm always like that. Like we need a backstory. We don't need like a spin-off or a prequel. Not everything needs a prequel. Just give us a solid story with everything that's explained, and then if you want to save something for the sequel, then that's cool. You know? Yeah.
Right. All right.
So yeah. So that's the movie review. It was a pleasure talking about this movie with you, and I hope we could do some other ones in the future.
Yeah,
Whenever you
for
available.
sure.
And definitely shout out to the whole crew at 80s, 90s, and 2000s Vibes Network. Everybody, Jamal and Be Poetic and Davion, Prime. I know I'm missing somebody else,
Yes.
but the whole
Shout
crew.
out to you.
Shout out to them and look out for us. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube and on Instagram. Follow all of our pages. We all doing some dope stuff for the culture, and yeah, you'll be seeing more of us on here. So
Yes, this was great.
yeah.
Thank you
Mm-hmm.
for
All right.
having me on this.
No doubt. No doubt.
All right.
All right. Peace.
All right. Peace.
All right.